What is up, y'all? Hope you're having a great day today. Welcome back. Today we're talking about cooking 1 to 200. This is like kind of another saw that video that my chat's been talking about for a little while. Last night I leveled up my cooking pretty much from 150 to 200 in the matter of an hour. Your servers right now, the way that they are, with the low population may make this difficult, depending on your server. Okay. So, my advice to everybody is don't worry about schematics, don't worry about anything else. How I leveled up my cooking, I went from not one, it was probably like 30 something to 200 in a matter of 2 days. Big thing is just to make your ration meals, your travel rations, your light meals, your satisfying meals, and your hearty meals at their respective levels going up. So I always did. You don't ever want to go. So your light rations, you can do for that first level. Don't ever touch them again. You go your travel rations next, and you want to go with the cheapest food possible on your market. Okay, so these are just raw foods. So that's any food that you want. For me, on my market, it was super cheap to get things like blueberries. If you are a higher level already, go up to the Boars and Restless Shore. Get yourself a whole bunch of thick hide that you can sell on your market, and also pork. Pork is going to be a big use no matter what level you're on. You can use that as a raw food source, and it will help out drastically. Same thing with your red meat if you kill a bunch of wolves. That is also a tier 2 meat, which also is what you need here. So in order to make your travel rations, you're going to need a tier 2 food. So that's going to be your strawberries, your firm fish fillets, your red meat. I believe pork is a tier 2. I don't have any pork left, I don't believe. So you can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Feel free to throw it down in the comments section. Personally, I would use red meat. I did a whole bunch of skinning in the beginning. That's another piece of advice. When you're traveling the world, in the beginning, get that skinning up, get that tracking up. That'll make this a lot easier, and you'll also be collecting meat and rawhide to level up your tanning and help you with your food. Or you can purchase it on the market. It is super cheap for meat because it's an abundant source in the world, so it's going to make it really easy. For my raw food, like I said, blueberries are really cheap on my server, so I use that a lot. Milk is a good one. Honey is a great one. And this is just a raw food, so it's really anything. Game meat works great. If you're not trying to rush your cooking, put buy orders in for these things that are like 25% cost of what it actually is on the market. People will fill them most likely, unless you have a really dead server, and then I'm sorry. The merchants are coming soon, I promise. So, did you do that? Travel rations. Like I said, I would use red meat, and I'd use like a berry or maybe like corn, squash, those type of foods. Squash could probably be used for this tier 2 also. It's a tier 2 vegetable. And go from there. Don't worry too much about your crafting percentage. You're looking for quantity in general. So your crafting percentage will help, especially on these lower levels where like your tier mats aren't really going to change it too much. Okay, these are all 50% for the most part for me, and I'll show you why in a second. You will be able to raise it up with like your juicy ham hock, which if you go up to the Boars and Restless with a skinning set on, you can get some juicy ham hocks quite a bit. I usually will come back with like 70 or 80 of them, and that'll make it a little easier on you. It brought it from 50% to 75%. Now, this percentage for you may not be this high with these pieces. The reason is I am a furniture expert first and foremost when it comes to my chosen profession in New World. So I have 3 homes. Each home has a minor cooking trophy in it at the moment just because I have not spent the money on the basic and major mats to make those trophies. Each of those trophies gives you a 3% yield buff on your cooking. And then I also, let me show you real quick. I have 4 pieces of chef's clothing. each one is a 4% chance increase. Okay, so if I put all of these pieces of clothing on, and we go back in here, now I have a 66% chance of crafting additional there. If we go to what we were doing before, 91% chance. Okay, so that's going to be that extra 16% because each piece is 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. So that's going to be an extra 16% chance on top of what I had already gotten, which is also the 9% chance from our trophies. Okay? Now, I will give you a caveat on this. When we get down to the Hearty meals, you can go below 0%. All right? So on these Hearty meals, I'm just going to show you this right now. We'll get back to it, and I'll touch on it again. But you see how I have these clothes on, and I have trophies, but we're still at 0%. If you are using garbage ingredients in here, then there's going to be a negative counter to where that positive percentage that we have is not going to be enough to push us over 0% on the Hearty meals. So just keep that in mind. Your stuff's not broken. It's just working the way that they intended it to, so that people can't cheese it even more than it already is. Leveling cooking is very easy. If you guys have any help that you need or any questions, feel free to put it in the comments section. I would love to help you out. Or I'm always streaming over on Twitch. Normally every day I'll be on Twitch at some point streaming New World. Feel free to come over, say hi, and ask me any questions you got. I can do my best to answer what I can. So we're gonna do the travel. So do the travel rations. Use your tier 2 food and whatever is the cheapest on the market for these two. This is the skill, the proficiency that I actually just basically purchased all this XP at this point. I farmed a little bit for my satisfying meals, but that's about it. So when you get into your light meals, that's going to be tier 3 also. Cabbage is usually pretty cheap. Your venison is usually pretty cheap. And your blueberries are pretty cheap. I bought a boatload of blueberries. I think they were 3 or 4 cents a piece on my server. So I spent about $400 or 400 gold on blueberries, about 1,000 blueberries in the very beginning, and just kept working through it. So you're going to use your light meals to take you from 50 to 100. And that's going to be a tier 2 food, and then also 2 raw foods. So like I said, whatever's cheapest, use it. Don't worry about your percentage of crafting. You're looking at pure numbers here. The more you can make, the better. If you can make only 10 at a 64% increase, then you're going to make like 15, 16 meals. Or you use garbage ingredients, have a 0%, and you make 150 of them. It's just going to be so much easier for you. All right? Then your satisfying meals. All right, you're going to need your tier 4 foods. You can find oranges in chests if you were a chest runner. So that is a good source. My biggest source was broccoli. I am a chest runner, so I do have oranges quite frequently. I use them also. But broccoli is a good source for your tier 4 food. If you go to your map and you go down to where Windsward is, you got that little shrine that has the tier 3 secret spot on it, and also Giannis spawns there with a lot of those quests in the beginning of the game. Right here, below there, is a boatload of broccoli. It spawns pretty quick, and there's a lot of it there. So what I would recommend is go down here, grab a whole bunch of broccoli, grab whatever other ingredients are in here. Okay? Any other foods in here. Kill the mobs. Level up some weapons while you're doing this broccoli. Grab a boatload of broccoli. You can also hit your hemp runs up here. There's some more corn, I believe, and things like that. There's an orichalcum node here if you have your mining up, and there's a whole bunch of hemp in here. So use your time to kind of change up what you're doing, rotate some stuff, collect things as you go. You can also get barley from the farm right here. Okay, barley sells pretty good, usually $3-4 per server. Per piece on your servers. So use your time to do that. There is a respawn on broccoli. I'm not sure exactly what the time is on broccoli, but it's a decent amount of respawn. So make sure you do that. Also, if you are based out of Everfall, there is broccoli right here above Everfall. right outside that farm, there's a bunch of broccoli right here. So every time you leave and exit Everfall to do something, go ahead and grab the broccoli. Keep it up there. Broccoli is usually decently priced on the market. I think it was 69 cents, 70 cents a piece on my market, thankfully. One of my company mates had like 240 broccoli on him. Shout out to Cracker Jack for helping me out with that. It was very good use of the resource for me to make these. So I'll use that. We'll go with the red meat, usually some venison or some pork, game meat, stuff like that. You'll still get a decent percentage if you have the clothes and the trophies active. And then you just make those. Make as many as you need to get from 100 to 150. Now, when it comes to the 150, this is where I accelerated my skill level. I was getting probably close to 20 levels per time I made stuff, okay? This requires seasonings. I don't have any on me right now because I just gave it all to one of my crewmates. But you want to go with, usually tomatoes are a good one for a tier 5 food. I use that a lot. Or, until I destroyed the market yesterday, rice was 40 cents a piece. Okay? It's going to take you about, I think it was 1,200 meals to get me from 50 to 200 of the Hearty meals. Just running Hearty meals. I've been giving them out to the company. Or you can sell them on the market. In our server, it's 10 cents a piece for those. So $1,200, $120 you get back. I bought all the rice on the server. It was 40 cents a piece, so I just cleared it out. And I had, I think it was somewhere around 1,000 rice. And then the other 200 I used tomatoes. And then you just go for the most basic foods that you can find, just like we have been on here. And then for your seasonings, do not waste your time and all that, and your mint and your dill. All those are pricey on the market, at least in my server. So don't waste them on this, okay? You can do sugar if your sugar is cheap on your server. Ours was relatively cheap, so I did buy some of that. But the biggest one and the easiest one is honey, okay? You can grab honey right at your trading post. There should be a little honey nest. I think it's only 6 though now. It's not much. Or if you look at this map, this is part of my iron run that I do, and also it's a honey run. So if you go down here, you got this little waypoint for first light. All right, I run a iron run that goes down here, up here, through this mine, and then it crosses over here. Okay, on the hill over here, there is a boatload of honey trees. They produce a decent amount of honey each time you grab one. So run through here and grab all the honey you can, and that'll help out a lot. Or go to your trading post and just buy the honey. Honey is not that expensive. It's going to be the cheapest of the seasonings that you can use that you can get a large quantity of. I think I paid 4 cents a piece for honey when I did this. Like I said, you need about 1,200. Okay, so 4 cents a piece, 1,200 of them. So once you have that seasoning will be really easy. Use your tier 1 foods. Use that tier 5 food. Like I said, rice, tomatoes were the easiest on my server, but check your server for cooking ingredients. Go to tier 5s and see what is the cheapest. But you're basically just going to run those Hearty meals until you get to 200 cooking. I was running it, and I was getting like a 0% chance for crafting additional items. So I just made basically 1,200 with the ingredients I had, but it was way cheaper than running things like scrumptious rabbits or sumptuous rabbit, apples, and like high tier stuff to get the better chance of crafting. It's just super expensive to do it that way. So go ahead and do it this way. Super cheap. Like I said, game meat, berries, red meat, and then the honey. And that'll make you a boatload really quick. And 675 cooking XP per is a really good way of doing it. Now, Also, if you guys are doing town boards to level up, if you haven't gotten to 60 yet, town boards are like your best. I went from 50 to 59 just doing town boards, and then from 59 to 60 I did dungeons just because people needed to get them done, and it was free XP. So just another side tip there. But they have cooking meals that you make in those town boards that are usually worth a decent amount of XP depending. So hit those up, help your towns out, help them upgrade stuff, and get some XP while you do that. Now, one side note I will say, any town board that requires eggs for your cooking meals, don't do them. Eggs are super expensive, and you're better off selling those for money than the XP return that you will get. Okay? But that's all for this video. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, things you did differently, let me know in the comments section. Make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button. I'll be coming back with some more videos, and like I said, I do stream over on Twitch, Weird Redbeard. Hit it up, and I will hopefully see you guys soon. Thanks. Peace.